Optometrist says your eyesight is better. And then you tell them, hey, I changed my diet. He goes, that's impossible. It just happened right in front of your eyes and you still deny it. It's comical when we see these different healthcare providers. It's still, even staring it right in the front of their face, they can't believe it's happening.
I can't wait till the next time I go to see him again. Because when I go to see him again, you better believe I'm going to remember this.
How, you said your wife eats chicken. You're not a big fan of that. How does your wife feel about you eating an all-meat diet?
She eats the same way I do for the most part. She tends to eat more pork and chicken than I do. The only time I ever have pork is if I have some bacon, because I do love bacon here and there. But she will have more keto foods, or if she's with the kids at their house, she'll eat something else. But she doesn't have a problem with the way I eat. She thinks I'm nuts too the way I sleep, but I sleep. I like to get good sleep. I get a good 8 hours a night, but she doesn't have a problem with me eating a lot of meat because she gets to eat a lot of meat too. Yesterday, I cooked for Mother's Day. I cooked a couple big ribeyes, and she got a ribeye and I got a ribeye, and they were gone. That's all I can say.
Yeah, we had tenderloin at our house. I cooked a big old tenderloin for the house, and we all went through that. Yeah. It was about a 6-pounder, and the 4 of us just demolished it. I probably had 3 of it at least, maybe 3.5 pounds of it, but it was quite good. And you said you get 8 hours of sleep. Has your sleep quality improved or changed since you switched diet?
Yeah, it got much better. The sleep improved, and there's a couple things that happened there. Back about the time of the blood pressure medicine thing, I would sleep like 5-6 hours a night if I was lucky. Not because I couldn't sleep more, just because I figured I'd sleep when I was dead. I worked a lot of hours. I intentionally cut my sleep short because I had a lot of things I wanted to do in the day, and I just didn't feel I needed to sleep. And I would just sleep. I woke up to an alarm clock, and then I would get up, I'd go to the gym, then I would go to work, and then I would do whatever. And over time, I realized the error of my thinking and started trying to sleep more, but it got better with the diet. It definitely improved with the diet. I can go to bed, I can sleep every night, and I sleep soundly. My sinuses are better. I breathe through my sinuses better than I ever slept ever in my life. And it's different. I don't know what changed there, but my sinuses are better. I don't mouth breathe anymore. Of course, I tape my mouth just in case I'm a mouth taper. It's totally different.
You mentioned you had an episode of extremely high blood pressure, well over 200, which puts you at risk for things like strokes and things like that. Yeah. Were you medicated for blood pressure for a long period of time? If so, were you able to come off it at some point?
Yeah, I didn't mention that, I guess. When I changed my diet back in 2019, the beginning of 2019, that's when the doctor told me I had the blood sugar problem, the diabetes problem. He had to start taking me off the blood pressure meds pretty fast. I was eating differently and losing weight very rapidly. And I would text him. We were in a relationship where I just text him and say, hey, I check my blood pressure every morning. I still do now after all that. That scared the crap out of me, which it should. But I would check my blood pressure, and it was dropping down when the 95 over, I don't remember, maybe 51, 49, something like that. And I would send him a text message immediately and say, hey, my blood pressure is getting down. This is what's been the last week. I would send him a set of logs, and he would say, yeah, you better take and drop your medicine. So over a period of about 3 months, we just dropped it. And within 4 months, I was off all the blood pressure meds. The statin was a different issue. That he didn't give me the statin in the first place. My family doctor, that was the neurologist. And I went and got an AC test probably at about a year mark. And I got a 19. I got 3 zeros, and one of them was 19. And he looked at that. We talked for a while, and I was off the statins, and I haven't been on statins since. But I'm going to go back and get another CAC test to see where I'm at after these years. But I'm just waiting for a little while. He's not rushing me to do that, but I really want to find out if it's what's happened over that time, because 19 isn't 0, which is really a little unnerving. But at my age, I'm pretty comfortable with only being 19.
If you look at the odds of people at 65, particularly with your history of super high blood pressure and all the obesity, it's surprising. It might not even been higher. But you said you check your blood pressure every day now. Now you're on this meat-based diet, which is so bad for our heart. It's going to kill us. And what is your blood pressure like today with all meat?
It's good. I tend to run about 125 to 130 over, which is not ideal to some people, but I think it's pretty ideal, over about 56 to 61. So it sticks there all the time. I don't take any meds. I check it. I don't check it the best time of day. I check it after my workout, after I come home and take a shower, which is the worst time to check your blood pressure. I can tell the days I do deadlifts, by the way. My blood pressure is always a little bit higher on the days I deadlift or squat. But it's been really good. It's been real stable. He likes it where it's at. Feels really good about where I'm at with that and never questions it. We check my blood sugar. It's been really good and stable. I tend to run 95 to 98 when he checks it. Now that's fasting. And I know there's all kinds of complications with that because I eat those big meat meals at night, but I'm not late, but before I get. Then the only thing that's gone up a little bit is A1C. And we've talked about that on here a million times. I really believe it's because my red blood cell life is so long lasting. And I've got lots of other thoughts on that, but it seems to be stable. It's just when I first went keto, it got all the way down to 4.7. And you could see as I went stronger and stronger towards carnivore, that number slid up a little bit. So now it runs up in the 5.7 to 5.9 range. And it varies a little bit. The doctor says he's fine with that. We've talked about the logic of why, and I don't know how he really feels about it, but he always smiles at me and shakes his head yes. So we keep going.
Yeah, interesting. Like I said, the blood pressure, again, is it truly red cells are living longer, or is it something else? Hard to say for sure. There are things you could do to verify that, but still, your overall, how much, at 65, are you getting stronger than you were maybe a few years ago?
No question. My Romanian deadlift is not as heavy. I'm going to talk in terms of real numbers here. My Romanian deadlifts back in my 40s, I could Romanian deadlift somewhere near 300 pounds, really good, clean, multiple reps, and scrape up my knees a little bit, but I could hold my own on really heavy Romanian deadlifts. I'm right there. I'm at that number or a little bit higher today at 65. And my deadlifts, it's been so long since the deadlift, I don't know that I ever got to 400. And I'm approaching that 400 mark now at 65, and I never really got there with the trap bar. So I know I'm stronger than I was. It's amazing where this strength is. So I don't test my strength constantly. I just try to do a reasonable number of reps, but I'm stronger. There's no question. I'm stronger than I was at 55 and definitely as strong as I was at 45 at a minimum.
Yeah, that's got to feel pretty good. I can tell you, and I'm 56. I'm about a decade younger than you, but I'm stronger now than I was 10 years ago. I have no doubt about it. And that's, I think that's pretty remarkable. And to see that consistently happening with a number of people, it's pretty cool to see. So the other thing that people often critical of this diet will say, hey, it's too expensive. How do you find, you said you've got a neighbor, you got some bison, access to bison, you've got eggs. How does it work for you financially?
I haven't noticed an increase in cost from that. We've had more increase in cost just due to inflation than anything else. But when I sit down and I analyze it, bison isn't the cheapest meat. So that's not a comparison I can make. I didn't eat bison every day when I was eating the junk, but the food bill has not been that crazy compared to what it was. I don't think it's gone up. I think it's pretty much apples to apples, pretty much the same. And we don't notice that too much. And we eat a lot of meat. So we go to the store once a month and buy a whole boatload of meat. Then I go to the farm and buy meat there, and another farm buy meat there. And we like to support our local farmers. So we try to do that when we can. There's probably a premium for that. I think we pay a little extra because of that at times, but it's worth it to us. So that's just a personal decision.